Yards for our first commentary game of the season on Borders Rugby TV. With our featured game of Jed Forest against Selkirk postponed, we've come here for the National 1 game between Melrose and HERIOT'S. First, let's have a word with the coaches. Phil, we finally made it to the beginning of the season, a real game. Is it a relief for you?
It's a massive relief. It's a nervous relief because, 18 months without any rugby, but the boys are very excited.
And have you managed to prepare for today in the way that you wanted to?
Yes and no. I mean, every club's going to be managing this whereby there's a test required from a player on this day and next day and whatever. So the last couple of weeks we've had pre-season games and it's been off and on regarding some players, but in general we seem to be doing okay.
No, I think everybody's excited, Barbara. It's nothing to do with me really, it's nothing to do with the people off the pitch, but just the last 18 months has been tough for a lot of young players. And our boys have done really, really well. We've been absolutely delighted with their attitude. They've stuck in really, really well, with nothing at the end of the day. So this is it today. They get a chance to play.
We're certainly looking for a win. But to be honest with you, genuinely, if the boys can honestly enjoy it and get back to just being back in rugby sort of circles, including the post-match stuff, I think that'd be a huge relief for Melrose and for us, and getting up back on the bus and maybe stopping at Lauder and all that palaver. That would be great.
We've had 2 or 3 pre-season games, and the boys did well in the sevens, which is good as well. But no, we're really, really happy with 50 boys training Thursday night. So numbers are good. We're young, but they'll get better. But they need to play rugby. We can all train and practice. We need to play.
Grahame Wilson leads the HERIOT'S charges onto the field of play here at the Green Yards this afternoon, almost exactly 18 months on from their last outing. That, of course, at Myerside, a 38-31 derby victory over Watsonian. 6 tries scored that afternoon, and the exciting partnership in midfield of Quinn and Lenine scoring tries for HERIOT'S that day. They're part of this youthful visiting side here at the Green Yards today. Oisin Quinn playing inside centre. Cameron Lenine, of course, son of the great Sean Lenine, starting on the left wing for the Edinburgh side. Captained, as we mentioned, by Grahame Wilson. Craig Robertson, ex of Gala and of Hawick, will be occupying the right wing, a New Year's Sprint winner, and he still has some gas to burn, and will look forward to this opportunity in a National 1 fixture that has certainly whetted the appetite. All eyes then on the tunnel, and Melrose then cheered onto the field, led on by their experienced skipper Richard Ferguson in a front row alongside Jake Fairley and Jack Dobie, 2 ex-Melrose Wasps players. So youth and experience part of that front row. 7 of the side taking part this afternoon in the selected first 15 were part of Melrose last outing, back again on the 7th of March 2020 when they put 50 points past Cartha Queen's Park. As I say, 7 of the players fielded today in the starting 15 chosen by Bruce Ruthven played that afternoon. Melrose will then have the kick-off. Our match referee is Neil Muir, decked out in nice bright red colours, and the surface obviously in impeccable condition. Gathered just on the HERIOT'S 5. Attempted charge down there by James Brown. Melrose immediately looking to put HERIOT'S under pressure inside the HERIOT'S 22, and those in the blue and white hoops looking for a quick exit through their scrum half then. Grahame Wilson. Once again they go in looking to occupy this position. The box kick just on the angle, and that just a safe touch finder up towards the 10 metre line. Melrose will have the throw in. Ferguson then with the throw in, one there by McConnell. Melrose then looking to ship it through the hands of Hutchison, who's a good exponent at both 9 and 10. But there is MacGregor, who's occupying the scrum half position. On towards Hutchison, taken on again by Donald Crawford, the man behind the concept of the Edinburgh Sevens. Vicar again on there towards Hutchison. A flat pass taken on by Ross McConnell, one of the many youngsters in this Melrose side. Forced back closer, as you see, towards halfway. Hutchison again bringing some pace into it is Rolly Brett, another one of the Melrose Wasps graduates, and again just trying to escape the attentions. James Brown, tap tackle, just slowed him up close towards the 22. Hutchison again, flat pass on there towards the tight head prop Jack Doby coming onto that just inside the 22, and turnover ball. Herriot's just looking for an exit. Charlie Simpson just running into Melrose traffic there, again trying to work it up through the hands there. Richard Winton close towards the 22. The offload there on that right hand side coming from Callum Anderson. Of course, Herriot's a side prior to the introduction of the Super Six, had never been relegated from the top flight. Back in 1995 they came mighty close, but engineered a win over Melrose that day. Melrose now just losing the ball going forward there. Donald Crawford, another handling error, unfortunately from a Melrose point of view, because he cut in a fine line and he was heading straight into the 22. The ball just bobbling away from his forearms, losing control. And again it provides Herriot's with an exit from their 22. But yes, that particular day, 25th of March 1995, Herriot's requiring a win at the Greenyards to ensure they continued to play in the top flight, winning by 28 points to 26, and coming back from an 18-7 deficit at half-time. Craig Chambers was not part of the Melrose side that day. He was on Hong Kong Sevens duty. But these sides have played a few hugely important matches over the years, both here and at Goldenacre. A good scrummage here from Herriot's, watched on by Wilson, the captain, the scrum half. They win the penalty, and that will certainly boost their confidence. And a few words exchanged there. Richard Ferguson, the Melrose captain, not entirely happy with proceedings there, and he's speaking to one or two of his troops in the forwards, as Herriot's have won that little battle.
Yeah, good solid drive there by Herriot's, just moving sort of 10 critical metres away from their 22 and taking this opportunity of taking the kick to touch.
Carmichael's crossfield kick, a line out opportunity this time for Herriot's. Their first throw in the game goes long again, contested. Up there was Callum Anderson, but it comes back on the Melrose side. Just on halfway, Melrose again. Ethan McVicker in position, looking to dig the ball out, does so, finds a tight head prop. Doby recycled well against Struan Hutchison. Well, he come into his own in the last few years in Melrose colours. Crawford again trying to find the fullback Aidan Cross.
Yeah, Herriot's haven't been out their half yet, and Melrose keeping this pressure which they've had right from the opening kick-off.
Ferguson again looking just to direct this maul so it's going forward, and he manages to steer it away from the touchline, getting closer towards that line again, looking to recycle. McVicker, little one-handed pass there on towards the loose head prop, who's over for the score. Jake Fairley, a perfect start, the start that Melrose players prayed for, and that was a perfectly well executed set piece. You can see what it means to Ferguson, the skipper, but it was all about the delivery from the line out. And Jake Fairley crashing over for the opening score of the season for Melrose. From the line, Ferguson joining in the drive. They were drifting close towards the touchline, but were able to redirect the forward momentum. And it was a nice little one-handed pass there from Ethan McVicker onto the loose head prop, who had a little bit momentum behind him, and he was over for the score.
Yeah, certainly Melrose was struggling about that first scrum with the Herriot's pack, but in terms of their loose play, the forwards, that was just excellent, and getting together to drive over for that try.
Struan Hutchison, this then his first opportunity for adding points to his personal tally, and he's made no mistake. A converted try then, Melrose off and running inside the opening quarter. Herriot's then looking to feed the ball on. Well, he was full stretch there, Jamie Munro. Lock forward, but he managed just to do enough to get hands on the ball. Wilson then on towards Oliver, also in that second row, taking on this time halfbacks. Carmichael off, fine run there from the inside centre. Quinn up to within 5 metres, recycled, by far and away the best play from Herriot so far in the game, taken on by Carmichael again. He was really had no option but to run into traffic there. Munro has it once more, still inside that 22. 3 players across here for Herriot's. They're going to be in for a score down that left-hand channel, and the referee, well, there was an opportunity for them to go in. I think a foot is in touch, in fact, and a flag has been raised. So the assistant 5 metres from the line, denying an opportunity for Herriot's to go over for the score. Rueful expression on the ex-Gala and Hoyt player's face. Herriot's had that 2-on-1 situation opening up, and Robertson was the ideal man to finish it off, but he must have just drifted a foot into touch, so denied the score that would bring them back to within 2. Box kick then is delivered. Hutchison watches it as it comes back there to Charlie Simpson, and he's grounded. Robertson goes in just to try and clear out players. Melrose player is flat on the turf. It is their number 8, Ben McLean, and he'll require a little bit of treatment, but much more positivity going forward from a Herriot's point of view. Ben McLean then will head off for a head injury assessment. And Melrose now have brought Craig Fairbairn on. Wilson doing well on towards Carmichael, again trying to bring Zach Smith into play, and Craig Robertson drifting off his wing, planting the ball back once more, picked up this time by Quinn, the inside centre. Suddenly some pace injected into this Herriot's attack as they try and close in on that Melrose 22. Melrose leading by 7 points to 0. Jake Fairley's try converted by Struan Hutchison, the only score so far. Wilson again, this time on towards Boab, trying to make some ground. The loose head prop still short of the 22. Wilson changes direction on towards Carmichael. Dancing in was Charlie Simpson. Again out wide, and again trying to provide a bit of width is Zach Smith, the outside centre, supporting his wingers out there. And once more they go through, and Danny Deneen just looking to recycle. Good succession of phases this from Herriot's, as they looked up the tempo themselves when they're on the front foot. This time it's taken on by Callum Anderson once more. Short of that 5 metre line, Wilson goes in, recycles, Carmichael's in possession. Reverse pass trying to bring Charlie Simpson into play. He tries to dance his way around the black jerseys that are descending on him. Wilson once more, Hooker taking it on, Deneen. Purposeful run, Wilson in behind. Tight head is Hutchison. He makes some ground up towards that 5 metre line once more. Reverse and bringing Winton into play as they slow up just ever so slightly, but Wilson on towards Carmichael again. Carmichael now on the angle, supported there by Boab. Over towards the final 5 metres now. Long loop pass out towards the fullback Simpson. A 1-on-1 situation opening up. He had on his right hand side Craig Robertson. He wasn't going to use Robertson. He landed the try himself. And that was the perfect response from a Herriot's point of view. Since conceding those points earlier in the half, they've really bossed things going forward, and they're back to within 2 points. They've the conversion to level the game.
Yeah, well engineered try that. They worked forward pretty briskly, and the forwards and the backs linking well, and it really was whoever was going to score the try at the end. It was an excellent try.
Wilson then just mopping the sweat from his brow. Forward he goes. That's just drifting wide of that left-hand post. Gets the tee in frustration. 2 point game though, and a much better spell in the game for the visiting side. Melrose still leading by 7 points to 5. Herriot's now making some ground up towards the halfway line again. Brilliant driving maul here, taking Melrose back into their own half. Once more over the 10 metre line. Brilliant determination by a clutch of forwards, and they're up towards that 22. That will certainly impress Phil Smith. On now towards the centres. Carmichael again cutting through there is Charlie Simpson. Simpson, is he going to be in for 2 tries in 2 minutes? Well, he's not going to finish it off, but Quinn will, and Herriot's now find themselves in front. A fantastic piece of mauling rugby going forward from inside their own half of the field, and then it was all about the pace and the observation initially of Charlie Simpson, and then the running of Oisin Quinn, who finished it off brilliantly there to score a second try. 2 tries in the space of 2.5 minutes, and Herriot's now find themselves leading the game.
Game on indeed for Herriot's. I mean, that was explosive. That running maul, if we can call it that, made about 20-25 metres there, and that detonated the backs into scoring an absolutely excellent try.
Wilson then without the conversion attempt. No problems this time. 12 points to 7, and Herriot's have turned this game very much on its head in the space of the last 10 minutes with 2 excellent scores.
Herriot's have shown that they have the power and they have the pace, and these 2 quick tries have certainly changed the complexion of what the way the game was earlier on. So important for this, from Melrose's point of view, that they steady things up here.
Ethan MacGregor, age grade internationalist, then feeds the ball into this Melrose scrum. Again gets his stance correct, and Lewis Marlin now comes onto the ball as Melrose trying to work it down the centre. MacGregor scurries in, makes himself available, reaches in for the ball once more, aware of the situation, and Marlin in behind him as well. It's Marlin who just reverses play, brings McConnell into play, the second row forward. He tumbles to the deck, and over him is his second row partner Ferrier there. Back towards Hutchison. This time it's Brett. Brett still on his feet, but tackled brilliantly there by Jamie Munro. Recycled grubber kick through his Hutchison's, and that will trundle into touch across on the far side. We're talking as well, Kelly, about the players looking forward to getting back to competitive action, but it's exactly the same for Neil Muir and yourself as a qualified referee. Anybody with experience in some aspect of playing or participating in the game, officiating in the game, it's important to get back and to feel that you're back on top of your game.
Yeah, definitely. So even arranging friendlies as a referee, that's one thing you want to get involved in as well, just to kind of get back into your positioning and where you should be at certain points, so you can see how Neil Moore is just, he's basically patrolling the back of that mall as it was moving forward, just to kind of keep an eye on both sides there. But his last game before lockdown was actually Portugal versus Georgia as an assistant referee, so he's quite keen to get back down to the borders and do club rugby stuff.
Yeah, quite the contrast from international to this well recognised domestic fixtures taken on there by Max Oliver, second row forward, but the penalty again awarded by the aforementioned match official Neil Muir, and back to his feet is Max Oliver there, who was trying to lead the latest Herriot's charge. They're penalised, and Melrose will look to try and return with interest into Herriot's territory. A match still on the knife edge. Again, Ferguson is accurate with the throw-in, looking to provide the drive on just at the base. This time he's able to escape the attentions there of the initial Herriot's defence. In behind him on towards tight head prop Dobie, grounded before he can make the 22. Herriot's remain mobile in defence, but Vicar on there towards Wilson. Flanker is able to carry it into the 22. MacVicar on towards Hutchison, floated past this time Aidan Cross, tries to dance his way out of trouble. He had an excellent Edinburgh Sevens tournament a little bit earlier on in the summer. I'll be glad to get back to 15's action, little coming together, exchanging the pleasantries there. Craig Robertson involved, thick of the action, and he's somebody that's been there, seen it, done it. Deneen once again finds Oliver. That combination has worked well. There's the acceleration into the initial drive, and you can see how close they are towards the touchline. Carmichael now tries to bring the centres into play. A huge collision involving Quinn, one of the try scorers. Herriot's just looking to try and turn the screw now as we come down towards half time. Sutherland this time, the flanker is floored short of the 5 metre line. Wilson again on this time towards the blindside flanker Anderson caught just short of that try line as Wilson goes in once more to fetch the ball, and he has options towards the right hand side. Robertson, there's a little bit of ground on the blind side. It's an untidy exit from a Herriot's point of view as Robertson goes in, then drifts towards the left hand side again. Herriot's looking to try and angle a drive close towards that left hand corner. They're perilously close towards that Melrose line. Again, Melrose defending to a man for their lives at the moment. Melrose 7, Herriot's 12, approaching half time. Wilson again has a long look at what's to his right hand side. Deneen the hooker, he's forced sideways. Excellent tackle coming in there from Ferry. At Herriot's again, just sheer persistence and power.
I think Harriet's player was tackled and got on back to his feet, but he was, I think there was something illegal in that particular move anyway. The referee was right on it there quickly.
MacVicar again feeding the ball in. Now he has it once more. Hutchison makes himself available. Down at his feet there, was able to scoop the ball up. Determination shown here by Brown, taking it forward, recycled again on towards Hutchison. Is it going to be prodded forward this time by Crawford? It is, but it's back in the hands of Charlie Simpson. He launches it forward. Hutchison is underneath it. Hutchison does well, again like a 7-iron down the fairway there, prodding it into that 22. Wilson is back, he's got a bit of time. and he launches it in the direction of a couple of our cameramen, but they're able to dodge that clearance kick, and Heriots are up closer towards the halfway line as they exit, but Ferguson comes across and it will be another Melrose throw in, this time on the Melrose right. Quick throw in, but the referee not allowing that one to work and create an opportunity for Melrose there, as MacVicar was straight onto the Ferguson pass, but it will be a more recognised standard line out.
And most of the Melrose pack having a wee chat there.
The last thing as a referee you want to do is get caught in the middle of a line out, so that was a quick blast of the whistle there by Neil Moore just to kind of calm it down and reset.
Hutchison then on again towards the Melrose Flyers and taking on Crawford on the angle over that 10 metre line as they continue to accelerate. MacVicar positions himself. Hutchison on this time towards McConnell. Second row forward, forced backwards. Melrose looking at their options. McConnell did well to retain possession of the ball there for Melrose, but again he had to secure ball but also make it available for teammates. He was almost devoured there by the Heriots defence, taking the ball into contact, not able to release. Heriots penalty. Clock reaching half time. Carmichael then will aim this one towards the corner. So last fling, you'd imagine, for Heriots in this first half. Does he find touch? Well, that's a spectacular effort to keep the ball in play across on that left hand side. Aidan Cross doing very well indeed. Now down the left, Melrose looking to try and make some ground. So harder hits coming in from both sides now. Melrose want to end the half on the front foot. MacVicar trying to engineer an opening here. Back it comes to Hutchison on the angle. Hutchison up but running into traffic there. Quinn tried to remain upright. MacVicar goes in again. Crossfield floating kick. Heriots have players just outside the 22. They'll knock that one into touch. The referee has a glance at the watch, and there indeed is the conclusion of the first half. Wilson then with the restart kick, and he floats that one down into the 22 quick direct, gathered by the Melrose outside centre Donald Crawford, and he's able to return the ball back into Heriots territory down on the Heriots left hand side. Deneen then will look at the options. This time it's the second row forward, Jamie Monroe, but the referee spotting the infringement in the line out, and with the throw in, so the complete package not working as well for Heriots on this occasion, and it presents a scrum opportunity still on that 10 metre line. So the second half still not quite going into a fluent rhythm at the moment, and MacVicar and Melrose suddenly find themselves on the front foot, and a chance for them to test this Heriots defence. So little perhaps lapse in concentration or a misunderstanding in the Heriots line out on that occasion. Yeah, just drifted slightly towards the outside shoulder, which is the main thing that referee looks for in a line out. It's gave a great attacking opportunity here for Melrose. Hutchison, again Crawford just trying to bide his time and find the angle. He accelerated up, taking play closer towards the 22 as Hutchison goes in once again. Prop forward this time, Jack Dobie trying to make some ground, the tight head. MacVicar changes the angle, brings Brett into play, long look pass out towards McLean. This time taken on by Lewis Mallon. On now towards Wilson inside the 22. The flanker goes to deck, needs some support. Mallon goes in, recycled by MacVicar. On towards Crawford this time. Again playing some crash ball. MacVicar up with play, and that across the ground, but Crawford had time to gather. The momentum perhaps just dropped ever so slightly, but MacVicar once again on towards Hutchison, taken on this time by Ferry. A rather flat pass allowing Heriots an opportunity to accelerate off their defensive line, and again Ferry taking the ball in, could not release, and on this occasion MacVicar's pass to Ferry was asking a bit more of the second row forward there, as Heriots were quick off the blocks defensively and win the penalty. Yeah, certainly this season the referees have been told to be quite quick on the breakdown situation with regards to the tacklers not releasing or holding on to the ball for the jackler to steal it, which is what we can see here, and that's how Heriots won their penalty just now. Jack Fairley is back on. Will Owen will be back to the touchline. We did see Owen feature briefly towards the end of the first half. But it's back to the recognised starting front three for Melrose. From the throw-in then. Again, that ball goes loose and is taken on by Dobie. He was quick off the mark there. Wilson is able to pick up. Now suddenly it's Brett who has opportunities and options to his right-hand side. McVicker scampers forward and is able to recycle on towards Hutchison. Cuts the ball back in. It's picked up there though by Brett, who stayed up with the attacking play. But again, just a little misunderstanding when they're looking to recycle and pass out from the left towards that right hand side. Hutchison has it, so no damage done from a Melrose point of view, but they have lost some ground here, and Mallon has to scamper back and look sharp close towards his own 22. So Melrose now suddenly find themselves back towards the 22. They'll be disappointed to have remained in possession but have been forced backwards in the manner in which they have. Looking to make some ground down this left hand side. Better play now. Aidan Cross now on the angle, needs some support. 4-5 players Herriot's round him. His opposite number does very well. Simpson with the tackle. Melrose though will still look to go forward, but again conceding the penalty, and that really is a result of Aidan Cross with a brilliant solo run, really needing options to offload before he went into the contact situation.
They needed that to Melrose, a series of very loose passes. Saw them going backwards at a fair old pace there, and that was needed, that to run to take the pressure off that Heriots were about to pile onto them in their own 22.
Heriots then, you can see the determination on Winton as Robertson has it now. It's an initial good work from the number 8, but it's Craig Robertson, the right winger, trying to make some ground. Recycled again on towards Winton, who really started it off doing very well in the number 8 position from the set play, but it goes loose and Crawford was in position to pick up once again. This time Melrose winning the penalty. Tackle player not being released, so Heriots will have a chance. Be interesting to see if they opt to go for the post. I think they have signalled they will do so. So penalty goal attempt now for Heriots.
James Brown was just unlucky there actually. He clamped round the ball to make the tackle, and it was just as both of them were falling to the ground that he ripped the ball out, but it just so happened the Heriots player hit the ground first, which is then deemed as a tackle. So very unlucky there, but a good opportunity here for Heriots to put another 3 points on the board.
A little further away from the posts than Hutchison's conversion attempt, but a similar angle. So we'll see what Wilson can do. Looking to add to his tally. 1 from 2 in terms of his conversions. And just mopping the sweat from his brow. This then to extend Herriot's advantage, to take them onto the 15-point mark. No problems at all. Half-backs linking up. Hutchison then with the pass. Outside centre onto full-back there. Crawford onto Cross. Again flowed just inside the 22. Brown was up in support. McVicker again has a look down at his feet there. The referee eventually awarding the penalty there to Melrose, and McVicker wanting to take the quick tap, and off he goes. But again the referee, Neil Muir, just brings play back. And Kelly, when you're a match official, you'll be mindful that these players want to get on with things quickly, but there is a way of doing things.
There is, and the one thing is never take a penalty behind the referee's back. It'll very rarely be allowed to take a quick penalty behind the referee's back. So if you're going to do that, make sure you're kind of in front of the referee, make it clear you want to go quick. 9 times out of 10 they will allow you, unless they're wanting to have a word with the opposition.
Done a bit better this time, Melrose. McConnell winning the ball in the line, but again the forced backwards, hurried past there from Brett, but does well, finds hands, finds Crawford, his partner in the midfield. Crawford up towards halfway, and again recycled, and Herriot's again turn over ball. Suddenly they've got front foot once more. Dineen though running in, solid challenge coming in from the Melrose number 8 there, Ben McLean, but it's back with the Herriot's number 8, who again finds teammates, and on goes now. Lock forward there, Jamie Munro up and just losing control of the ball there as he tried to accelerate beyond that 10-metre line down the heart of the Melrose half of the field. Again it's McVicker. Hutchison again providing opportunities for forwards to come into play, and Will Ferry was in position. McVicker just reversing the angle. Little chip there from Crawford. He gives chase. Oh, the bounce is perfect for Crawford. Now an opportunity. 2-on-1 opening up. Malin almost overrunning there as Crawford tried the one-handed pass onto his teammate, the outside centre, coming up at a real rate of knots there. And Malin and Crawford with the initial run, outside centre doing very well. Malin on the wing, almost overrunning the pass, knocking the ball forward. And those cheering on the home side thought that Melrose were in for almost a certain score, but it wasn't to be on this occasion. But again, some creativity shown.
I'm really quite impressed, as I said earlier, with just what we're seeing on this first competitive game for them both for such a long while. And things couldn't be better. Great conditions, a reasonable crowd, and a good attitude from both.
Wilson, Robertson this time, first receiver. Robertson carries well up and needed some support there. Quinn was in position, one of the try scorers. Quinn is flattened. Again, Herriot's looking at opportunities to play some quick ball, bringing Max Oliver into play. That just dropping to one side there as Martin tried to garner the ball in. The referee had played a short period of advantage there for Herriot's. Come back for the earlier infringement on the Herriot's 10, and no change in the scoreline. Just a one penalty though, one set of 3 points in the second half so far. That coming the way of Herriot's and their captain Wilson with the penalty goal. Herriot's leading 15 points to 7. Robertson again takes it on, barges his way through the initial line of Melrose defence. Clinging to him there was Ben McLean, just trying to slow him up there, but some powerful figures out there and determined characters as well. Comes back again towards Martin, fine run there from Herriot's in their inside centre. Quinn, but again it breaks down for the visitors inside the 22. Quinn picking a fine line, and he's a player that I'm sure Herriot's have high hopes for during the course of the season. He's already scored in this game, but just a little misunderstanding. Again, not quite coming off, not quite the cohesion they were looking for. Douglas Crawford again feeding the ball into the scrum, providing the platform for Rolly Brett just to take play up towards the 22. Back to Hutchison, who kicks forward. Two Herriot's players back inside their own half of the field. Delicate kick and a little chase then from Charlie Simpson. Return now downfield. Herriot's have some defending to do here. And Lenine does very well indeed to scramble back. Herriot's on their own 22 but still in possession of the ball now. Robertson changes direction and he's in support there of the man in the ball, who's Zach Smith, outside centre. Again, Melrose, whenever possible, were looking to get on the front foot there. Lenine was confident enough to track back and secure possession of the ball and allow Herriot's a platform, although back to their 22, to build once more.
Yeah, some good footwork there by Douglas Crawford, just to return the kick with a kick or a volley that was straight off the football park, I think. But no, he done well, and because of that, now Melrose are kind of up at the halfway line.
Douglas Crawford then in that familiar Scott position to roll the ball into this Melrose scrum. 15 points to 7. Crawford then round the corner, great acceleration, then pokes one forward. He gives chase, so too does his right winger. Is the bounce going to be kind for Melrose? It's kind for Lewis Malin, and Malin is in for the score. And we've got quite the ending to the game now as Melrose go to within 3 points of Herriot's with the conversion to come. And Kelly, in fairness to you, you talked about the opportunism of Douglas Crawford just a few moments earlier, and he worked that blind side perfectly. Another player with brilliant acceleration, opening up an opportunity, and Malin said thank you very much. It's through Hutchison then. Here he goes. An angled kick ball spinning round just across the face of the posts. But we've an intriguing last few minutes. Ferguson then receiving the word from Jake Fairley, the first of the two Melrose try scorers this afternoon. Again towards the back of the line. Worked well, locked forward, McConnell up. Now some pace shown once again. Douglas Crawford doing very well indeed. He's a real threat, a thorn in this Herriot side. It's hacked forward, but the referee now signalling the handling error and the knock on. But Douglas Crawford has really changed the complexion of the Melrose attack since coming off the bench. And this a good shop window for him to show what he can do, and already you think to future sevens. He'll be an exponent of the sevens game, I would imagine. Very much of that sort of Rhys Cullen mode. Herriot's then looking to their number 9, number 8 and 9 combining then. Down the right hand side, played forward, just making some ground, and Melrose have it back with their fullback Aidan Cross. Cross, goose step, still he has it. Oh, marvellous footwork from Cross there, up and over the 10-metre line. And he's got support now, recycled by Crawford, Douglas Crawford, on this time towards Rolly Brett. Suddenly a gap opens up for Hutchison. Hutchison, still he has it. Perhaps he required the offload just a little quicker there. Takes the ball into the contact situation. Now it opens up down this right-hand side. Tremendous determination shown there by Jack Dobie. He's caught 3 metres short of the line. Melrose now, the bit very much between their teeth. Fairley goes forward once again. Already a try to his name. Melrose very much on top at this stage in the contest, but trailing by a point. The referee, Neil Muir, up with play just now, watching all eyes on the action as Melrose again just trying to redirect their attack. Hutchison again very determined, so too Douglas Crawford. Forwards again looking to join in the attack. Hutchison just takes a few steps back, as I think the forwards now will go en masse here, try and pick and go. They've got the pads of the posts to opt for, but Herriot's have got that particularly covered. That now works its way out towards the right hand side. Perhaps not quite the option there, as Cross now tries to return inside the 22. He's a big figure to bring down. Douglas Crawford gets a touch. Tackles coming in those in blue and white, as the Herriot's hoop jerseys now very much on the defensive. Recycled again. Tight head prop Jack Dobie takes the ball into play. Up towards the 5 metre line they go. Increasing determination. Douglas Crawford on towards Rolly Brett. Brilliant tackle comes in there by Monroe. Second row forward there. On the prop forward. And then on the centre. Reverse now. And on then towards Richard Ferguson. Ferguson is flowed 5 metres short of the line. Again, this time it's Craig Robertson trying to remain onside and disciplined as he tried to snatch possession of the ball there for Herriot's. And Herriot's are forced, I think, to take the ball and ground it over the line. In fact, the referee now signalling a knock on as Melrose trying absolutely every which way to break that Herriot's defence. Clock ticking down to full time. Hutchison once again. Brett is the option. On towards the back row forward, Dylan Wilson making some ground. He's been a real good support runner as well when Melrose have been on the front foot, when he's not been directly involved. Outside centre on there towards McLean at number 8. And this time Lewis Mallon cuts infield, but he's tackled. Very solid, secure defence. Hutchison once again. This time on towards O'Connell. Out this time Wilson has it once more. Wilson looking to accelerate. Wilson cuts away from 2-3 Herriot's players, but great defensive cover provided there from Quinn. On there towards James Brown on this left hand side. He's been wanting a real run at this Herriot's defence for most of the afternoon. Dobie then out towards outside centre. Crawford is floored. Melrose still have possession. They're back towards the edge of the 22. Lateral, and then Brett straightens up on towards Mallon. Mallon then cuts in of his wing. Still inside the 22, still determined looks on the Melrose players' faces as again they go, and taken on this time by Will Owen. Is back on the field of play, second cameo appearance from him. Outside centre is Crawford, up towards 5 metres from the line. Cross, the fullback, the interception coming in there from the right winger Craig Robertson.
Penalty try.
Was up, and so too was Cameron Lenine, but the referee has gone underneath the post to award the penalty try, much to the frustration of the number 14, will be yellow carded. Lenine was very deliberate there in his actions to try and deny the 2-on-1 situation. He rushed forward. I think he was saying, I did genuinely try and play the ball, we'd like to see that again. He's been yellow carded as a consequence, and the referee had no hesitation but to go underneath the posts, award the penalty try, and Melrose now lead by 19 points to 15. Herriot's down a man, the first yellow card of the game, and well, that's an interesting flashpoint.
Yeah, what a fabulous attack that was by Melrose. I mean, the number of passes that took place in that, I'd like to see the actual total, but everyone cottoned on to the pass at the right time, and an excellent result really from Melrose's point of view.
Heriots then suddenly find themselves trailing the match once more. Charlie Simpson, ball spinning towards touch. Melrose will now take all care and attention to protect this lead. Hutchison, crossfield kick back into the Heriots 22. Simpson again, just angles it down that right touch line, bounces over halfway and into the welcome arms there of Cross. Still he has it, tackled though by Simpson. Heriots players in a hurry, not surprisingly. Melrose then, Douglas Crawford on towards Brett, this time again taken on by Fairbairn over that 10 metre line. Douglas Crawford again with outstretched arms, he'll reach in, and now he finds Hutchison once more. On towards Donald Crawford, out towards the right hand side. Melrose sensing an opportunity against the 14 men of Heriots. Lenine shown the yellow card for the deliberate knockdown, and the penalty try awarded for the home side. Brett, long pass out towards Derek now. Sam Derek in that back row, could not find Wilson there with the pass out towards the left hand side, and the clock ticking ever closer towards full time. Another knock on. Ferguson goes down, perhaps a sign of cramp, and it's a double jeopardy of the 2-on-1 situation opening up, and Lenine in that the mindset of a player just trying to deny the almost certain try coming the way of Melrose by intercepting the ball, and then of course appealing to the match referee, but shown the yellow card, and of course the referee then awarding the penalty try. Risk and reward. It's the double jeopardy from a Heriots point of view.
Kelly, would you have given it a penalty try there?
Yeah. Yeah.
All day long, I think it was just making his way underneath the post when you were shouting for that.
Yeah, it was clear as day. He was the last offender, and it was a 3-on-1 to be perfectly honest. So, unfortunately, totally agree with the referee this time. It was a penalty try.
Yeah, it was a definite try, and of course they didn't have to worry about the conversion.
Robertson again, that ricocheting off the chest there of Smith, and Melrose now, could they be in for another score? Remember, they've got 3 tries on the board, so they'll be looking for a 4th before the end of the game. Dying embers of the match now, and the referee had already a glance at the watch as another Heriots knock on, so they're continuing just to turn the screw, Melrose. And you'd imagine even this stage in the campaign, when you can get off and running at home with a win over a side that you know so well.
Melrose, of course, got their attacking heads on at the moment, but there's only 4 points in it, so they'll need to be ready to defend anything from Heriots.
Now on towards James Brown. Brown again, a last-ditch tackle again from Zach Smith. And James Brown allowed to continue, and the referee just waving him on. He's underneath the post, almost all his teammates congratulating them there. Now I think Heriots felt that Zach Smith's tackle had resulted in perhaps Brown with a foot in touch there, but he's in for the score, and it's 24 points to 15, and that's salt in the wounds from a Heriots point of view, having lost the services of the right winger to a yellow card, that there's just that little bit more space down the right hand side, and whether it was perhaps running out of room or another infringement, the Heriots players were appealing to the referee, nothing doing. 24-15. Did you see anything in that?
No, the touch judge, who is a Melrose man, indicated that he managed to get the ball in without actually putting his foot out.
I think Heriots certainly felt that he made the tackle, and they felt that he was in touch. However, from the angle that we are, it did look like he still had the foot in play, and his other foot was actually up in the air, which even if you're across the touchline, if it's in the air, you're not in touch. So without kind of going to the TMO and slowing it down and things like that, where the referee was positioned, I would have probably let that go as well. Hindsight, you're always told from a young age, you play to the whistle, and Harriet stopped, they didn't play to the whistle.
But Heriots now find themselves with a mighty task on their hands. You feel that this game is now well and truly won from a Melrose point of view. Heriots will certainly not go down without a fight, and McElwraith as the replacement scrum half gets involved on a couple of occasions there. Again, recycling down towards his left-hand side. We'll work it back, perhaps centre field, but Herriot's forwards continuing on. The last quarter of this game has very much been bossed by the home side. It was nip and tuck and a seesaw affair up until then, but really since just beyond the hour mark, Melrose have found something extra, and in no small part it's been down to those players that have come off the bench. Herriot's then remain on the front foot though, but are chasing the game. McElraith again, the ball just released from his grasp, but Melrose, in their haste to try and put pressure on McElraith, are penalised. McElraith then with the tap up towards the 22, again looking to recycle on towards Quinn there, one of the try scorers in that first half, with Herriot's leading. Herriot's though sink to the knees. Melrose congratulate one another as they've recorded an important victory on the opening day of the National League One season. They've won the contest here at the Green Yards by 26 points to 15.
Absolutely delighted. I think particularly the way the game went and Herriot's getting on top early, just really proud. I think we stuck to the way we wanted to play, which is to move the ball around, play to the width, which I think you'll see in the highlights. And we didn't go into our shells, we did that and we got there in the end, so absolutely delighted.
Again, you'll be impressed with the opposition and how they approach the game, but your own cohesive play, because after such a layoff you'd perhaps expect there'd be some cobwebs, there'd be some untidy aspects to the game, but it was a thoroughly entertaining match and a lot of set play well executed.
Yeah, firstly just fair play to Herriot's. I think their set piece, their maul and scrum were outstanding. Really big, strong front row in particular, but I think it was probably a game of two styles. I think we moved it around, we tried to find space in the width. Their maul obviously caused us a lot of problems, but as you say, I think it would be a great game to watch.
Probably a bit of a frustrating one for us. We felt first half we'd got ourselves into a good position, and then second half we lacked a bit of accuracy, a little bit of set piece, a little bit with trying too many offloads. Gave Melrose a lot of possession and they took advantage of that, so well done to them.
You did illustrate today you've got an awful lot of power and pace in your maul, and you've got a lot of power and pace in your midfield, because the 2 tries you scored in the space of 2 minutes, you'll enjoy watching those back again.
Yeah, we were pleased with the 2 tries, and we showed flashes of what we can do. It's just about repeating that a bit more throughout the 80 minutes, and we've had a bit of a disjointed pre-season, not really through COVID to be honest, just through people being away, and we've not really been able to run out in our units as much as we would probably like. So we'll work on that Tuesday, Thursday, and then look forward to Cartha next week and try and put in an 80-minute performance.
I'd be lucky if we had a quarter of the ball, I think, in the first half. We just seem to be defending. So the main message was, when we get it, let's keep it at least 5-6 phases before we think about kicking it. Let's test them a wee bit rather than just give the ball back.
Now, when you did find your rhythm, particularly in that final 20 minutes, there was some really explosive play. And Douglas Crawford was quite often at the centre of a lot of that. It just shows the importance of having a good 20-man squad to come on at different times in the game and really change the flow of the match in your favour.
I thought Douglas was excellent, absolutely outstanding. Ethan was great before him, and when you consider we've still got Bruce Colvin to come back next week, I think we've got 3 of the best scrum halves in the league there. So yeah, delighted with the way Dougie changed the game. I thought that was top class.
We hope you've enjoyed today's coverage. We'll be back next week to cover Peebles' match against Stuart's Melville. But for now, cheerio.